Well, hello, my friends. Today is the Crypto Lunatic, and today I'm skirting on the edge of controversy. The edge of controversy, my friends. This is the most unpopular, unloved, fudded crypto on the market right now. It's very polarizing, and people either think it's a complete scam or they think that the guy behind this is going to revolutionize crypto and the financial markets. So it really depends what side of the fence that you are on as to whether Pulsechain is any good or not. So let's start with that. This is really a bit of fun, bit of controversy. Crypto isn't fun unless there's a bit of controversy. And every influencer out there, not that I'm any sort of influencer, but anyone that's talking about crypto, they go with trendy stuff. They go with the people that pay them the money. They go with the stuff that they can shill. This is probably the most untrendy thing to be talking about right now because for the simple reason that the man behind Pulse Chain has Interpol out looking for him at the moment. So, if you are, and my videos are very much for people outside of crypto, if you're into the David Icke sort of ilk of things, the people that are unloved by the mainstream media and pretty much everybody in control because they're calling out bullshit, then you're probably going to like Richard Heart and what he's doing. And if you're not, if you buy into everything that you can read on the internet, then you'll think this is a massive scam that needs to be avoided. But most scams, let's start with this, folks. I'm going to tell you that I'm actually siding that I like Richard Hart and I believe in Pulse Chain and I am a holder of it. Not as with everything that I invest in, folks, not a very big holder, but I am a holder of it. And it's one of the very few cryptos that is less now because of this Interpol thing. It's less now than I paid for it a few years ago. So if you really want high risk, potentially high return, or total bankruptcy on this one, folks, depending on how Interpol play out, then this is one to look at. But this is the adventure zone. This is the matrix zone that we're in at the moment, folks. So let me tell you a little bit more about Pulse Chain. Let's go. Let me just share my screen for a second here. So here's Pulse Chain. Here's the chart. You can see when it got released, it was over 5x up on what it is now, and it just went straight down and it stayed fairly low for a long time. As you can see, folks, as you can see, as you can see, it went down. I bought it about 5.5 or 0.000055. That's when I got in, folks. And you can see, look, it's lower than when I got in now. And that was years ago. Years I've been sitting on this. Now, Richard Hart released Hex a few years ago. And a lot of people made a lot of money and a lot of people didn't. And now it's tanked right back down. But the crypto industry hates Richard Hart. And I've really been trying to get my head around this. I've looked into it. When people tell me that things are a scam, I tend to look into them, folks. This is the way that I roll. This is the way that I play. So let's just go for news. Let's just look at a bit of news. What will you find? You'll see Interpol. Interpol are after Richard Hart. Yes, they're all after him, the authorities. He's being taken to court at the moment. They've taken Richard Hart to court. This is all, it feels to me very, very corrupt, folks. I mean, you have to realize that a lot of companies have been to court. You see all of this. And Richard Hart has been saying for a long time, he's been predicting that the big guns would come out for him because they're threatened by what he's putting together. Now, what Pulse Chain is, folks, you can just look through these, is pretty much it's a mirror of Ethereum without the fees, without the massive fees. So the SEC have sued him. Now Interpol are after him. And Richard Hart has predicted all of this. He's predicted all of this, folks. I'm not here to give you an all singing, all dancing version of all of the facts around Richard Hart. All I'm here to say is that from somebody that came relatively new to the industry from outside that likes to explore both sides, that Pulse Chain and Richard Hart has a very loyal community. This has been very polarizing, that the authorities went after him, the SEC. There's a lot of people online that will say what a scammer he is. It's so easy to jump on the bandwagon, isn't it, when Interpol are after you, when the government are after you. And there's a small band of very loyal followers that have been preaching about Pulsechain, Hex, and PulseX, that they're doing some really good things. It is effectively Ethereum, but faster and cheaper. And that's really what Pulsechain is. And I do believe that Richard Heart is a genius. He probably likes his bling a little bit too much. He can come across as a little bit arrogant. But here's something really important that you should know, folks, is that most scammers tend to want to keep themselves out of the spotlight. Now, okay, your people inside crypto will say, well, what about Sam Bankman-Fried? Well, not everyone, folks. Not everybody. But my general read of this is right or wrong, and I'm very open to your comments here. I just want to open a door. I want to shine some light where not many people are shining it. And I really want to say that, Richard, if you ever watch this video, I believe you, fella. I believe you. I believe that Pulsechain is there to do a lot of good for a lot of people, and I believe that there's some very dark forces that are looking to shut Richard down at the moment. And I am massively in a minority here. I know I'm putting the boat out here. I'm certainly not plugged. I'm not sponsored. I've not been given anything to put this video together. I'm just saying that sometimes you have to look beyond the mainstream media, beyond the headlines. And the people that think that Richard Heart is a scam are probably the same people that believed that vaccines were safe from the get-go as well, folks. Don't believe all you read in the news. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But I, for one, will tell you, for anyone that thinks that they're late for the party, if you like high risk, and this is very high risk because now Interpol are after him. Now, I don't believe that Interpol are legit. I think that there's some very shady stuff going on, folks, but that's just me. That's just me. That's just my opinion, my little old humble opinion, and I could be wrong. But if you're into high risk, potentially high reward, and high usability, loyal community, then have a look at Pulsechain. They make it difficult to buy for newbies, that's for sure. But this one's worth looking into, folks. There's plenty of people out there saying nice things about Pulsechain, and there's some really quirky, brilliant influencers out there that I think are well worth listening to. And I'll give a shout out to your friend Somi, Corey Costa, absolutely top bloke. And there's another one called Crypto Coffee that are very level-headed approaches to what's going on in Pulsechain. And there's a few others, folks. There are a few others. That are just three off the top of my head that I looked into when I was doing my research into the other side of things here. And the Pulsechain community is quirky and it's fun, folks. I actually enjoyed my time that I spent in there and listening to their socials. So I would say if you're a contrarian, if you don't believe in the system, if you think that we live in a matrix, if you don't trust the governments, and if you don't trust the mainstream media, then I would suggest have a look at Pulsechain. They might come for him. They might even bump him. Or he could go swimming on a beach one morning, for all I know, folks. But I say fair play to you, Richard. I've got my little holding of Pulsechain, and I think this is potentially a fantastic entry point for people that have certain level of risk tolerance, avant-garde, and fly by the wind. And if you really want something that could be potentially disruptive or go to zero, have a look at Pulsechain. So there you go, folks. My little update. If you want more of my little updates, then please do like and subscribe to this video. And there's another little update just there, folks. But enjoy this journey because this is a rabbit hole and this will be very polarizing. By all means, comment. I look forward to reading them.